Technician 775 here. Hey Bandit. That's one of my cats, Bandit. Okay, Technician 775 here. Tonight we're going to be reviewing the different types of dry canning. And I say different types, it's primarily the different containers. We'll take and review the pros and cons of the mason jars. Number 10 cans and the cases that they're stored in, and also the 5-gallon buckets with and without Mylar, and also the Gamma Seal lids that you can actually buy for your 5-gallon bucket. Okay, we'll start off with the mason jars. For a small family, mason jars are excellent. You can pretty much store about one good serving for a family of 4 out of one mason jar of peas, beans, meat, tomato sauces, and the such as that. Dry canning and also wet canning, I think they'd call it. I've never really done that much of that. They're reusable. You can get the extra bands and lids from most any Walmart's, dollar stores. And again, I don't work for Walmart's or any dollar stores or anything. I'm an aircraft mechanic, as you've known in some of my previous videos. I just kind of wanted to take and look at the different things. People that are just starting to prep, kind of give them an idea of maybe which direction to go, and kind of maybe learn from our mistakes or our experiences and such. And Bandit is determined to be in the video one way or the other. Okay, all right, mason jars. The cons on them: they're breakable. The pros: they're reusable. If you are doing a dry canning and it's getting bags of rice or beans or anything in dry good like that from your local store, you can actually go in. If you have a partial bag left, you can actually go in and put as much or as little as what you have left over in the jars until you get another bag or another container of beans, rice, or whatever. That's one good thing. When you get it full, you can go ahead and use the old food saver and vacuum seal it. They're reusable. The lids are fairly replaceable lids, and bands are relatively cheap. They store good. They're easy to hand out. You can use them from a multitude of things, from drinking water glasses, as you've seen a lot of them have drinking water glasses, to storing seeds. You can see how the seeds are. You can open up the top every once in a while and let your seeds have a little bit of air. One of the things I've read, and they do not care for you to do, is put your seeds in like a number 10 can, because there's no air can get in there and your seeds will actually die on you. I would read up on that more. It's just what I've vaguely read or remember. Also too, you can store your oxygen absorbers in it if you happen to need some for any other project, and you just open up a container. They'll stay good for years in that respect. So mason jars have a good useful life, I guess you'd say. Okay, cans are extremely durable. Just like the mason jars, they are rodent proof. You have to keep, as with everything, very important, keep your stuff stored at or below 75 degrees, and preferably out of the sunlight. We've had black eyed peas that's been stored for over 10-12 years, and rice, and it's still edible. The cans are easy to, if you have the equipment, easy to seal. That's the con. You have to have a sealer, a can sealer of some sort. They're easy to stack. You can put 6 of them in a case and stack them up relatively nice and neat. You can hand them out just like you can do those in case you have to barter, lend, loan, giveaway, such as that. So number 10 cans are actually a really good way to go. If you have a smaller family, the mason jars are good. Even if you have the empty mason jars and you open up a number 10 can, and if you don't want to use the plastic, you can always put it in the mason jars and actually use it out of that as well. Okay, now next we move on to the 5-gallon buckets. Excellent way to store bulk foods. This one right here happens to have quick rolled oats in it. It was packed in 01 of 11, about a year old now. And with most of my things I've packed in the 5-gallon buckets and Mylar, the heavy Mylar, I'll go back in about every 6 months, take and inspect it to make sure the seams are still good, and this is actually still packed almost like a brick. Okay, we buy the buckets used from a local store that handles restaurant equipment. They pick them up from restaurants and stuff and resell them and make them $1 or $2 or whatever. So, but try Sam's Clubs. Try a lot of your bakeries, donut shops. They use a lot of 5-gallon buckets. Burger King's actually use a 5-gallon bucket for pickles, and they'll probably give them to you if you ask. If you have to buy them brand new, you can get them too at Lowe's or any one of the big department stores. With the 5-gallon bucket, if you open your goods up, you have to have, I would recommend 10 or more people. That way you actually go through your food quite fast. If not, pick you up several of the Gamma Seals. The way these work, and this is a one-time thing, because once you snap this lid on here, I don't think it's going to come off without tearing up the lid or the bucket. So just figure up, maybe they have them different colors. You can get these in just Google searches. They have these everywhere. If you snap this on here and you open up your food and you pour it back in, you've got a really good seal that you can put and have, as you do I guess we call it quick use food, something like corn, wheat, flour, oats, rice. If you have a bunch of people, it'd be a quick use item. Some of the mason jars you could use for baking soda, baking powder, different things like that that you really don't use a large amount of. Perfect for putting sugar in. One of the things about sugar, please do not use an oxygen absorber in your refined sugar. It will take and turn it into a lump. Don't know why. I vacuum sealed sugar in the mason jars, and it's kept for quite a few years, and we gradually opened it up and used it. We also to feed the hummingbirds in the summertime, and we use up a lot of sugar like that. But I've also got a lot of sugar packed in the number 10 cans, which is airtight, sealed to the sun or the elements or anything, which is a good positive in the can and a negative in the mason jars, unless you can store your mason jars in the closet. Okay, I hope this helps some. Kind of gives you an idea of just a down and dirty, simple, quick explanation of the three. And of course you do have the 55-gallon drum for corn as well. I have a grinder coming in. If they can ever get the parts put together and to get my grinder, I will do a comparison on grinders and we'll go from there. But for right now, Technician 775 signing off, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. Bye.